In this video, I'm going to teach you how to watch basketball in a way that will increase your basketball IQ. Now, I don't mean just watching any random game without any purpose. You need to be watching basketball with an intent to actually learn, and I'm going to show you how to do that. After that, I'm going to share a bonus tip you can use to enhance your basketball knowledge, making you a smarter and therefore better player when you get on the court. I only learned how to break down and learn from film once I already got to college, and that's because I had really intelligent coaches who were basketball savants. I look back, and in high school, I was already watching a ton of basketball, but the problem was at the time, I didn't have the skill set to be learning from what I was watching. So let's get into how you can really become a student of the game with part one, knowing what to watch. If you have college basketball aspirations, while it is effective to be watching your own film, what you really need to be doing is watching college basketball. So what does that mean? How can you watch actual college games? And not just during the college season, but all year round. I use Synergy to watch games now because it's a database of all college games. If you know someone, a coach most likely, who has access to a Synergy account, this is recommended. However, you can just search for games all over YouTube. Just type in whatever team you're looking for and then full game. And a lot of times you'll find the full uncut recording. Also, shout out to the YouTube channel Matthew Loves Ball, who does great full game highlight videos that show full plays. I have absolutely no idea how he's able to cut up so many games so quickly, but this is a great resource to have in your back pocket. Obviously, watch as much basketball as you can on TV as well. Even if you aren't breaking down film, still try and watch those games with an eye that is keen on learning. Part two, how to actually watch film. I want to show you how I would watch my own film if I was a high school basketball player who was trying to pick up on some tricks to become more effective. And so back when I was in... Hello? Hey man, I want to learn how to watch film. Perfect, you're in the right place. What is your game like? Well, I'm a 6'5", unathletic, skinny kid who trips over his own feet. So who should I watch? Hey, wait a minute. As you can see, in my case, I was not an elite athlete in high school. So if I was going into watching film, I would look for ways to learn how to be smarter than my peers. Again, I didn't know how to watch film back then, and maybe neither do you. But the first thing I would do is figure out what kind of player I was and what kind of player I wanted to be. For instance, if you are an unathletic big man, but you're a really good shooter, then you should try and find a college player that is similar to that and go watch a full game of his. So let's get into how to actually watch. I decided to break down my first game of my 5th year at Colgate, where we lost at Buffalo by 1 point. I just picked out 3 simple things that a younger player could immediately implement into their game that would automatically make them a higher IQ player. Let's take a look. Again, these clips are things that anybody can do. It doesn't matter how athletic you are. And that's what I mean about increasing basketball IQ. So this first one is taking advantage of a defender's closeout by attacking the pass and running through the ball, running through the pass. So you see what I mean here? Here I am kind of trailing the play as my big and my point guard get through. And as I come around, if I pause it right here, my defender here is outside the 3-point line right now. So he's a little bit out of position. I could just catch it here and then try and rip through, but instead of doing that, I catch the ball on the pass. I'm already going downhill, right? So I get that advantage behind him. Pretty good finish. Okay, quickly, here's another example of the same exact kind of play in the same exact game. So again, I'm trailing the play. I see my defenders a little bit out of position here. And instead of waiting for the ball and catching here and then ripping, as the ball is coming to me, look at how my feet, I'm already sprinting towards the basket. I get that advantage. My big does a good seal. But the point of these plays of running through the pass, or you could call it like a stampede dribble, is that you don't need any fancy dribble moves to do it. You don't need to be able to jump by somebody or cross them up. No, literally you just take advantage of bad defense. And in high school, there's so much bad defense. So, like I'm saying, I'm trying to make this simple, but this would be an easy thing that you can implement into your game immediately. Okay, number 2 comes right after this play actually. And again, this is the type of play that if you do this in a game, even if it's not necessarily successful, which I'll explain in a second, it makes you look like a smarter player than everybody else on the court. I guarantee it. If I saw a high school player doing something like this, I would automatically think that they were just higher IQ. They knew the game, they knew how to play the game. So I scored the layup, and after the ball goes in, the guy takes the ball out. Instead of just sprinting back on defense, I fake like I'm running back and I turn and try and steal the inbounds pass. And I do this all the time, at least a couple times every game. And most of the time I don't get the steal. This is one of the few times I actually got the steal. So look, I get the steal, get a layup. My team's fired up, I'm fired up. It's great. But what I will say is that it gives your team an advantage in a couple other ways. So for instance, if I take away the point guard, then they have to pass it into someone else who's not as comfortable handling the ball, and that just takes the offense back for a split second. So I think it gives your defense like just a little bit of an advantage as the offense comes back towards you. And then not only that, but I'll show you another clip here where the big man actually steps over the line as he's trying to pass it in, and they get another turnover. And so again, even if you don't necessarily get a turnover on this play or get a steal like I did in this instance, it just makes you look smarter. And if a coach is coming to watch you play, they want to see someone who's kind of seeing the game on another level from everybody else that's on the court. And this is something that will do that. Okay, so this next clip is maybe the simplest of them all, which is to just sit in a passing lane, and I guarantee you'll get steals, especially in high school. I think my last couple years of college, I got at least one of these a game where I would just sit in the passing lane and a guy would throw it basically right to my outstretched hand. A lot of times I get a wide open layup, but look at me, I'm just sitting in the gap here, a little bit high, and it's just an easy read. As he comes towards you, he's trying to make this pass, which seems open because it seems like I'm out of position a little bit, but no, you just put your hand in the passing lane, get a tip, and we get a steal. It's an easy steal. And again, in high school, this could be so effective. I wish I had the awareness to be doing this already in high school, because I would have gotten a couple fast break layups every single game. I just know I would have. And so if you see these other clips as well from other games, you can just see it's just a simple read. It doesn't take anything crazy. It doesn't take any athleticism to just be in the right spot on defense. And this was something that I remember my senior year at Colgate. I actually sat down and watched film with one of our assistants, and he was telling me that he was kind of showing me situations where I could get this steal, where I was just sitting in the gap and I could kind of cut through the passing lane and get that steal that I wasn't taking advantage of. And immediately after that, I started getting about one a game. So again, doesn't take any extra athleticism, but it's something that you should definitely try and implement into your defensive repertoire, because getting extra steals and layups looks good, I promise. Okay, quickly, just to show that we're all human, don't get back cut with 15 seconds left in the game, down one. Just don't do it. Yeah, that wasn't a great play. What if you took advantage of these 3 plays just once a game? That would be 6 easy extra points. Then you go from scoring 15 points in a game to 21 in a game. And I'm telling you, 21 points looks a lot better. And these are things that any player can do. So go watch a player that is similar to you, that is playing at a level that you strive to play at, and try and pick up on some easy things that they are doing that got them to that level. Remember, I have watched thousands of hours of basketball in my life. Just since I've started this YouTube channel, I've watched a ton of videos just on how to make my videos more effective and interesting. Watching basketball is the same, and just like any other skill, the more you practice watching film, the better you'll get at picking up on the little nuances that you can really implement into your own game. Now, let me know if you like these film breakdowns, and maybe in a future video I'll do a longer one. Bonus tip: go watch live games. I remember one of the first college games I went to when I was in high school. We were at Thanksgiving in Connecticut at my cousin's house, and my dad took me to a Fairfield University game, a Division I team in the MAC. Just going to that game did a few things for me. First, seeing the game live really proved to me that it was realistic I could play at the college level. A lot of those players didn't seem that different from me, although they were obviously better than me at the time, but it really gave me confidence in myself and a target level to strive for. Second, it allowed me to see how the best players on the court do things that you really can't pick up on when you're watching a game on TV or on your computer. For instance, it showed me how the players communicate, how they talk to their coaches, how they huddle after dead balls, how they act and cheer when they're on the bench. All these little nuances that I could replicate and begin to implement into my own game. If you want to play college basketball, go to a college game and copy what the best players are doing. Sure, you can increase your basketball IQ just by playing, but to really take your game to the next level, you need to be immersing yourself into all other aspects of the game as well. If you become obsessed with watching basketball in the right way, you will learn and you will become better. Knowing how to watch film is a skill I wish I knew way earlier on in my basketball career. So I hope you learned something from this video that will increase your basketball IQ and make you a better player today.